TEMA Talk is a BS-free zone with smart, funny and educational conversations with entrepreneurs and business owners sharing their stories and insights designed to help you succeed. The result is a video vault of wisdom, strategies and tactics on how to grow your business by increasing revenue, reducing costs and amplifying your market share. Welcome to TEMA Talk, the B2B show created to help entrepreneurs and CEOs succeed. Here is your host, business growth architect and founder of TEMA, Carl M. Gibbons.
Now they say you can't buy happiness, but you can buy a donut. And maybe that's one and the same thing. Well, we're going to find out today, and we're going to see what happens when you put the dough back in donuts. Because joining us today are Andy and Melissa Rudd, who are the creators and owners of Davinci's Donut Shops, which are based in Georgia in the Atlanta metro area. And they've come up with this great new concept called Davinci's. So we're going to find out all about it. Now, I've got to tell you, we've got the brains behind the outfit and we've got the brawn behind the outfit, right? Now, you can work that out, dear viewer, which one is which, right? Okay. All right. So welcome, Andy and Melissa.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Okay. So before we get into it, what I'd like, Melissa, give us the quick $10 tour, right? The quick 10, how it all started, how it came about, and where we are, and what the challenges have been. Just a quick tour, and then we'll dive a bit deeper.
Okay. So about 7 years ago, I was a stay-at-home mom, and Andy was a corporate attorney who got downsized.
Thank you. That was the reaction I got most of the time.
And we were kind of looking around going, okay, so now what do we do with the next phase of our lives? And I have loved to bake. I'm Italian. I love food. Food brings people together. And I jokingly said, you know what? I'd be happy making donuts the rest of my life. And Andy goes, okay. And I went, okay. And he called me about 20 minutes later and said, there's no donut shop in Alpharetta. Let's do one. And we went, I was like shocked. So we just kind of researched it. And in the back of my head, I was like, all right, we'll do this. We'll have a nice little donut shop. It'll work for maybe 6 months and he'll go back to work and I'll sit around and just make donuts and have fun. And it just kind of didn't really happen. It kind of took off from there. So we've been doing it for 6 years. We researched what other donut shops didn't have that we wanted. And we just kind of created a concept from there. So yeah, we started in Alpharetta. We have 3 of our own locations and are starting to franchise now.
Okay. So why donuts? Why not pizza, burgers, tacos, whatever? Why donuts?
Because I always made donuts with my mom when I was little. I always made donuts with my kids when I was little. It was just kind of that thing that was special. It wasn't an everyday thing. It was something that when company came over or kids stayed the night, it was something that connected you on a special occasion. It was for a family affair. And I wanted to bring that kind of special family gathering treat to the public.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to jump straight to the food brings people together, family gatherings 2020.
Yeah.
Boom. Problem, right?
Yeah. And it has been a problem, but we've managed to do certain things such as curbside, so people can come and do curbside takeout. We've managed to do things such as donut decorating kits where we can put everything in a little kit and you can decorate donuts at home with family. So we've managed to do the connecting family part of it and still kind of have that tradition of, food bringing people together, even though they're not sitting in our store doing it, they're still doing it together.
So you've taken it to them rather than them come to you.
Right, exactly.
Love it. Now, it's quite clear that Andy and I go to the same gym, right?
Yes.
We both have the same workout routine and health and fitness routine.
And I have donuts too.
Yeah, right. Okay. Just want to let you know, dear viewer, I didn't get a sample box. We haven't had a trial.
Oh.
I thought I'd get that in right.
A little gap.
Okay, right. But anyway, let's get back to being serious now. People are becoming more and more conscious about what they eat, right? The whole health food market is huge. You know, we've got the huge growth of farmers markets. We've got the growth of things like Whole Foods. You know, where everybody's is totally focused on the health content of what they're putting in. Now, it's not unfair to say that historically, donuts and healthy eating have not exactly aligned with each other, right? So how have you coped with that? How have you dealt with that?
Well, first of all, our donuts are smaller in size. So instead of getting a great big donut, ours are 2.5 inches in size. So portion control, which, you know, everything in moderation,
Okay.
is the first thing. So having a smaller donut definitely helps. And donuts are not an everyday thing. It's a special occasion. So it's not like you're going to have a donut every single day on your day to work. It's something special. Also, because ours are smaller, you get a box and you share them. It's not that you're going to take a whole box and you're going to eat it all yourself. You're going to take a box, you're going to share them with your coworkers, you're going to share them with your family. And that's, you know, that's how it's kind of not as your traditional donut. It's
Okay.
not a traditional donut.
No, in fact, with our business box, you know, with Sherry 16, the thing that we've gotten feedback on is the fact that a lot of people don't want a whole donut. They don't even want a whole bagel, but these are 2 or 3 bites. And so they become a very easy thing and a nice thing for them to look at, pick their flavor and try them.
Right. What about ingredients, guys? Have you looked at the ingredients? Is that possible? I mean, the extent of my culinary arts is I think I can do a piece of toast. I think I stop there, right?
Well,
I can scramble an egg. I can scramble an egg, and that's only because I dropped it.
But with our concept, we have a base donut. So our base donut is a cake donut. It's a lighter cake donut than you're normally used to. So it's kind of a cross between a cake and a yeast donut. So it's really light, really fluffy. And then we have a variety of toppings that you can put on it. So we have our 16 that are out every day, but you can also come in and you can pick your toppings and pick your flavors. So if you want something a little less on it, we can do that for you. If you want something as decadent as a maple bacon, we can do that for you. So you can definitely choose and customize what you want for that day.
And then I think to also add in there, you know, as part of the experience, your beverages come in, your coffees, your teas, and, you know, obviously in offering alternatives and using plant-based milks, things along those lines that allow for other members of the population to come in there. Plus, we do special gluten-free to deal with food allergies.
Gotcha.
We have not yet quite conquered the vegan donut, but we are actually working on it on a consistent basis, but we're just needing help from some of our suppliers to help us crack that nut, so to speak.
Right, I hear you. You actually, you might want to end up, I found my partner in another venture, Carl Gould, he's vegan. And we call him the Brussels sprout king because wherever we go, it's like, I'm going to end up eating Brussels sprouts, right? But what happens a lot of the time is restaurateurs actually and chefs talk to him and say, what do you want? What do you need? And where do I go? As opposed to the suppliers and the vendors. So you might want to, you might want to talk to some of your vegan customers and say, if I had a Brussels sprout flavored donut that's made with whatever, are you in? Why not? Right? Okay. So traditionally, in everybody's head, the donut thing is a coffee and a donut, right? We all say things like, let's go for a coffee and a donut. I'll meet you for a coffee and a donut, right? And it's traditionally a morning thing, pick it up on the way to work or taking it into the meeting that you're going to. And what do you guys and how do you guys address that? Because clearly, when we've all got to the office, right, you don't stop paying rent. The staff costs don't go away, right? So your peak trading periods, where I'm going with this is how do you deal with those off-peak hours? How do you keep the train rolling?
Well, we definitely market 2 offices. So they have meetings throughout the day. So they do pick me ups to offices in the afternoons, a little pick me up after lunch, or they will take, like reps will take them to hospitals where they have different shifts, morning, noon, and night shifts, or will market to schools who have take treats in for lunches. So donuts definitely aren't just for breakfast. They're for breakfast, they're for lunch, they're for an after dinner dessert. So we definitely have people coming in at all times of the day.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Because I do know there is that well-known high street brand, okay? The Dunkin' Donuts, they suffered with that. They had a huge challenge with that. And for a while...
it's more of a cross, so it's almost thought of more like a cake base, so it's more like a dessert. So
right.
It's not just for breakfast.
Right. Okay. So for you guys, it's a marketing exercise. It's educating the client that this isn't your traditional stodge with a cup of coffee.
Exactly.
The joke of all the cops with a box on the roof of the car eating them type scenario, right?
Yeah, it is definitely an upscale gourmet donut.
So there we go. So it's gourmet. It's very niche.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Definitely not just a classic vanilla. We have, strawberry shortcake. We have maple bacon. We have salted caramel. We have definitely different flavors.
Okay. So the minute you have a gin and tonic flavored one, I'm your official sampler and taster.
Sounds good.
We'll get to work on that.
A minute this program is over, you're on to work.
As soon as we hang up with you.
Okay. All right. So now, when and why did you decide to go down the franchise route? Why didn't you just decide to go, well, let's have 50 stores of our own, 20 stores of our own, whatever? Why, when and why?
Yeah, we opened this business with the idea that we were going to use franchise as the expansion model. My background was as a corporate generalist with a consumer products company. I've done a lot of licensing and trademark work in the past. And while I understand the franchise model, I understand the need to how do you market, maintain brand standards because of some of my roles in the past. I felt that it was certainly an avenue that we should build our business around as a way to access capital, as a way to grow potentially more quickly than we could do, and in hopefully a less risky way. But now, with that said, we didn't rule out the idea of continuing to build our own corporate stores with the idea that over time with our business model, as we learn, hopefully we would come to some resolution as to which was the best model. Good things don't happen overnight, so it's still a work in process, as both models have pros and cons associated with each of them, and it's a matter of balancing those and seeing what's going to work best with our business model, the culture that we want to have with the brand, and getting the right people in to carry on that message, so that we don't lose the equity that we've built up over the last 6.5 years. Can't believe it's been that long.
Yeah.
Right. And we have 5 stores now, right? Currently, is that right? 5?
We actually have 4, unfortunately.
Okay.
Did not survive the coronavirus.
Okay.
We do have a 5th that's in the works, but it's going into a new construction establishment.
Okay.
So the timeline on that has been thrown into a little bit of disarray with all the activity over the last, inactivity.
With the roller coaster of the last 3 months, I hear you. I hear. How are any of those existing stores? Are any of those franchised, or are they all?
We have 3 stores that we own. We have 1 store that is franchised up in Dawsonville, and the new store that's in the works is also going to be a franchise store.
Okay. What was I didn't see that one coming when you went down the franchise route? Because we all, I mean, most of my viewers know that I have years and years, 30 odd years of experience in the franchise world. And I can remember my very first franchise store that I opened. The first customer through the door, asked me where, the food hall was, and I'm like, where's that? And the first phone call I got from a franchisee was nothing at all to do with the product. He didn't know how to reset the alarm. And I was like, oh, because I just didn't see that one coming. What was your, I didn't see that one coming?
Well, I think, we spent a lot of time. I felt that I understood the franchise model and the needs of what a franchisee would need. I think the biggest sort of eye-opening experience is really, truly, how do you define what a good franchisee looks like, and doing that screening process up front. In all honesty, you have to match expectations of being in, as good as donuts are, as much fun as it is. You're up at 4:00 in the morning. You are standing over a 375-degree fryer. You're dealing with customers. You're dealing with complaints, and you're running your own business. And it takes an awful lot of work, and it takes the right mindset in order to get someone who's willing to put the effort in. I think a lot of people go into a franchise thinking, oh, great, I'll give them some money. It'll get run, and I will just kick back, and I'll just simply collect the profits as they come rolling in while I'm sipping a drink on a beach somewhere. And, while certainly after you've gotten your store up and running, you've educated the employees, you've got the culture set within your store, you have an ability to not spend quite as much time sitting in the store. But this is running your own business is a 24/7 proposition.
Right.
You don't shut your brain off when you come home and not think about the business merely because the stores are closed. That's about like your breather. Is if the stores are closed, you're like, okay, no one can call me with some catastrophic problem. No one's going to call off today. And so, that was number one. The number two is, to your point on franchisees, is not recognizing exactly how much support, how much coaching, and really how much moral support. You have to be their cheerleader much more so than I somewhat expected we would have to be. And so we're learning to improve that communication, improve that profile of who makes a good franchisee as we go forward. It's all learning, honestly, and I don't know that I could read a book about it and have done anything different. Had a lot of experience, but until you get into it and start doing it, you just don't know what you don't know.
Right. One of the things that I've discovered over the years and learned very quickly is that the franchise business and the core business, the donuts, and you notice I deliberately pointed at each one of you there separately, are two separate businesses. The donut business is why people got into it and why they love it, right? They love the idea of having the donut shop, but then they're constantly looking at you for new products, new flavors, and when I say you, I mean Melissa. They're constantly turning to, what's the latest flavor? When is my gin and tonic donut going to be on the market? When is it going to be available? And then they're probably turning to Andy then for all of the other stuff, and that includes building and developing a franchise model and rolling it out. And they're two different businesses. Is that how you're finding it? Is that an experience? Would you buy into that comment?
Absolutely. And when you run a business, you just don't know all the bits and pieces, which we didn't know when we started. So like you said, I do all the front of the house stuff. I do everything with staffing and stores and training and all of that stuff. And he does all the stuff with ordering and taxes and vendors. And you just don't know all the compliance stuff that you have to do. And there's so many bits and pieces that go into running a business. I could not do it on my own. And it's nice to have both halves for us to do it. It's a lot to do. And I don't know how one person could do it all.
But you still have to develop the core business, right? You still have to keep coming up with new flavors, different toppings, and that's different. That's a different skill set. It's a different thought process to looking for new locations, identifying the right franchisee, doing deals with vendors to bulk buy.
The creative is the fun part to me. And to me, that's the easy part. And I love doing that part. And that to me, it just comes naturally to me. You put a set of numbers in front of me and a spreadsheet in front of me, I go blank, forget it.
Right.
I mean, and to him, he loves doing that stuff. So
Right.
it works out really well. So when you're starting a business, you really have to have people around you that can help you do this stuff. Like I
Right.
said, you can't do everything. You can't be perfect at everything.
Right.
So having people around you that can help you is paramount.
But you're correct. I think that was one of the learning experiences is you think you have a good core business,
Yeah.
and therefore it's simply going to translate to a franchise model.
Yeah.
And it isn't that simple. You
Right.
can have a great core business and make it work. And if you're not running the franchise model correctly, and I've made a ton of mistakes
Sure.
in how we've run the franchise model, and that has caused hiccups along the way.
Right.
The core business has stayed running strong because Melissa's extremely passionate, extremely creative, and we're able to instill that culture with it, in viewing that kind of passion. It's how do you translate that to a franchisee that I think is still a work in process for us.
Right. So what's the future for Davinci's? Where's it going? Is it going, is it still going down the franchise route? Are you looking for owner operators? Are you looking for somebody to buy a territory and open 20? Do you want to do a deal with me on the state of Florida? I mean,
yeah, I think we've put a hold on things in 2020 for the time being. Honestly, we're not actively seeking out franchisees right now. We want to get the fifth one open, which is scheduled for early next year. And we want to continue to refine our core and really make sure that we have everything better documented and better able to support a franchisee if and when we go down that path. We actually have a couple separate core models in that we have standalone stores that are in strip malls, the traditional in-store seating, but we also opened a 320 square foot shipping container in the parking lot at Lenox Mall.
Love it. Love it.
As you've seen, Starbucks just announcing that they're going to be moving to, in urban areas, a more drive up, grab and go concept. We're still working on refining the space heat in there and how do we utilize that model potentially as a better unit for franchising than trying to run, a standalone store where customers come in and seeing if there's a way that maybe that's the model that you're franchising, not necessarily the core model of standalone stores in strip malls, so to speak.
What about a food truck model?
We actually, when we first did this, we investigated all different model. We investigated a delivery model, we investigated the strip mall stores, and we investigated a food truck model. I think, candidly, for us, I think this could work in a food truck model. I don't think there's any doubt. For us, the environment of running a food truck is very different than the environment of running a standalone store. And it's a little more difficult on a food truck model where you're moving around to different locations, I think, to truly build that community feel that we were looking to build, and that you can build with something that's more fixed in place. Again, that's not to say that the food truck model isn't a brilliant model, and I think it could be something. I would never say it wouldn't work, but for us, you can only skin so many cats at once. So
sure,
and you have to pick and choose where you put your energies.
Right.
And we've chosen to focus our energies, and it's a full-time job doing the two tracks that we've actually gone down the path with.
The reason that I brought it up as a topic is Melissa was very animated about the community, and with a food truck, the community doesn't come to you, so you're not reliant on building your tribe. You can go to the community. So, if they're all over here, you don't have to drag them over here or entice them over here. Not that I'm sure they're going to be excited to come, but if you were to say, well, look, I'm coming over to, here I am, try it and see. Just, might be worth a thought. Might be worth a thought.
Yeah, we have. I mean, we've had discussions in the past with someone who runs a current food truck, and again, for us, it was really more a matter of it's like you said, as you pointed out, franchising is a different business than running a core business. Well, running a standalone store is a different business than running a food truck. It's different permitting. It's how do you get, how do you manage the space? It's not, because it's not even going to be 320 square feet. It's going to be 120 square feet.
Right.
So
it's a kitchen on wheels, right?
Yeah, it's a kitchen on wheels. So you end up in a situation where, do you do it as a commissary situation where you're making them at your store and then you run your food truck out and have racks of donuts? But again, all these things would have to be sat and figured out.
Right.
I personally just haven't had the desire yet to distract myself and go down that path.
All right. Okay. Got to stay nimble. Got
to stay nimble and got to stay focused.
Yeah.
And it's all about the pivot, right? We're all about the pivot. All right. So we've if you can talk enough about donuts, I think we've talked the hole in this donut, right? So let's find out a little bit more now about what makes Andy and Melissa tick. In the last segment of the show, I'm going to ask you both of you the same question, and just spontaneous answer, first thing that comes into your head. And if you want to move on, say move on. So we'll start with Andy. Best piece of business advice you've ever been given?
Stay focused.
Melissa?
Do what you do best and don't try to be all things to all people.
Okay. Melissa, biggest mistake you've made in Davinci so far?
Trying to do everything myself and not delegating.
Okay. Andy?
I'm going to have to echo trying to do everything myself.
All right. Andy, how do you get through the feelings? We all have them, the self-doubt, the imposter syndrome, the little guy that talks to you on your shoulder. You don't do that. You don't do that. How do you get past that?
When you figure it out, let me know.
Is that the same for both of you?
Yeah, that's hard. I have self-doubt every day. I mean, you just have to keep going and just know that you feel that you're trying to do the right thing. You just try to do the right thing every day.
Okay.
That's it.
Melissa, which words or phrases do you most overuse?
Probably
Andy, what about you?
Wow.
Move on. You go. All right. What book are you currently reading or listening to, Andy?
A little blue book that still beats the market.
Okay. Melissa?
I'm all about podcasts, so I listen to about 10 podcasts every day.
Okay, good for you. Including TEMA Talk, I hope.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay. What do you think, Melissa, is your most marked characteristic?
Probably just my passion for things, that if I'm going to go do something, I'm going to go all in.
All right. What about you, Andy?
My attention to detail.
All right. Okay. Andy, which living person do you most admire?
Wow. Probably my dad.
I knew you were going to say that.
Melissa, what about you?
I would probably say, probably Michelle Obama. I think
okay. If that's your answer, that's your answer. Okay, Melissa, favorite hero of fiction?
Hero of fiction? Oh. Pass.
All right.
Hero of fiction?
Andy, hero of fiction.
I don't know.
Indiana Jones.
All right. There you go. All right. Andy, cocktail. What is it, man?
Coors Light beer.
Yes.
I didn't know that qualified as a cocktail, Melissa. But
Oh,
hey,
sure it does.
hey,
Beer
that
qualifies as a cocktail. Beer is the
Yes, it
universal food.
Oh, I thought that was donuts. Oh, what am I going to do with you?
And donuts.
All right, Melissa, come on.
If I'm going to drink, it's going to be probably vodka soda or vodka pineapple.
Atta girl, atta girl. All right, Melissa, favorite business word?
Favorite business word? Yes. Can I
Okay.
help you? Hello.
Andy, what about you?
I don't have a favorite word. My business action is a smile.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I like it. I love it. All right, I've got 2 questions left for both of you. Andy, do you want to be in control or do you want to be in charge?
I want to be in control.
Melissa, do you want to be in control or do you want to be in charge?
Yeah, I'd rather be in control. Yeah.
So we've got 2 control freaks. Ooh,
Yeah.
okay. All right, last question. If there is anybody that you want to watch this video blog and to contact you and to turn to their person next to them and say, get hold of these 2. I need to speak to them. Who do you want it to be? It can be prince, potent, pauper, dictator, rich man, poor man, beggar man, anybody you like. Who would you like to be watching this and say, get me Melissa and Andy on the phone? I want to talk to them.
Oprah. How about that?
Andy?
I like that. Mark Cuban.
Oh, that's good too.
Mark, give him a call. We've got to sort him out. It's okay. He's pliable. He's malleable. He likes to pivot. He's all right. Oprah, you're going to love her. And she'll bring the donuts, all right? So give her a call. All right, guys, that's it. 30 minutes of business banter and badinage have just flown by. Our thanks to our guests, Andy and Melissa Rudd of Davinci's Donuts. Check them out. They're all in Atlanta, the Atlanta metro area. If anybody does want to get hold of you and get in touch with you, how do they do that, guys?
You can go to our website, davincisdonuts.com, or email us at info@davincisdonuts.com.
Davincisdonuts.com. It's indelibly ingrained upon my heart already. All right. I want to thank Guerilla Media for twiddling all their knobs and making this magic to make this video blog happen. And I want to thank you for watching and listening. And don't forget to visit TEMA's Video Vault of Wisdom at thirdeyemanagement.com, where we share all the other podcasts with you, and you can have access to an absolute vault of goodies, of episodes that will give you strategies and tactics on how to help you grow your business. So until the next time that we meet, I want you to stay safe. I want you to stay in touch, but most of all, I want you to stay profitable. And with that, we are